From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Headliners. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. Right now, thousands of South Florida's most vulnerable residents are losing their Medicaid insurance over technicalities. While the state of Florida offers an immediate fix, advocates say delays are hurting families. CBS News Miami's Larry Seward explains.
It's a little personal for me.
Shirley Dominguez almost teared up over it. Life with a safety net missing when you needed most to cover doctor's bills.
You never know when you get that knock on the door that you have to tap into your health insurance.
What's happening to thousands of the less fortunate clients she now serves through the Epilepsy Alliance of Florida's navigation program leaves them more vulnerable than Dominguez can believe.
We have children that have leukemia. We have people that are disabled that have been terminated by procedural reasons, and that is concerning.
The COVID-19 pandemic banned states from changing who qualifies for the government's free income-based health insurance. That ended in April. All states began trimming Medicaid rolls. Florida's Department of Child and Family Services cut hundreds of thousands. But this report sent to federal regulators shows 82% of those rejected lost coverage for procedural reasons, meaning they did not respond to messages to renew and update personal information with the state.
Something is going wrong with the system. It means that people are falling through the cracks.
In an emailed statement, a DCF spokesperson says our department has a robust outreach campaign, including up to 13 direct contact attempts to customers who do not submit a timely application. The department is utilizing an aggressive text and email effort. Still, advocate Carolyn Thompson, an Epilepsy Alliance navigator helping people with enrollment, meets clients finding out they're missing coverage when they visit doctors, and those trying to fix it struggle to reset online logins.
Wait time can be 3 to 5 hours on the phone, being on hold, and they do shut off the phones at 5 o'clock, so you might get your call in early.
With at least 20% of Florida's Medicaid recipients in Miami-Dade County, advocates and the state say they're doubling down, working hard to spread word about Medicaid's changes. The state says people rejected have 90 days to update information to get retroactive coverage. Meanwhile, both the Epilepsy Alliance Navigation Program and Florida Health Justice Project have advocates waiting to help walk people in need through the process. In Miami, Larry Seward, CBS News, Miami.
Well, right now, we're learning new details about the Covanta fire in Doral. A new report from Earth Justice and Florida Rising studied the air pollution and public health and safety hazards that Doral residents endured during the massive fire. The flames burned for more than 3 weeks in February. Now, almost 4 months later, we're learning that a toxic air pollutant may have been circulating in the air. CBS News Miami's Joe Gorcho breaks down the troubling new report.
Earth Justice and Florida Rising went through county records, learning more about what Doral residents experienced the days and weeks after the massive fire at this Doral waste facility broke out, a fire residents still remember.
I remember everybody told me keep the windows closed because it's dangerous, because it's too much toxic.
Doral resident who goes by Daniela recalled neighbors warning her of the dangers. The fire started on February 12th, burning for weeks. Smoke filled the air within the city.
The county essentially downplayed harms to the surrounding community in especially the immediate aftermath of the fire.
Dominique Burkhart is a senior attorney with Earth Justice. A report published June 1st by Earth Justice and Florida Rising details findings as the fire ravaged the Doral facility.
So people are being exposed to a mix of pollutants that can each on their own cause health hazards. And now there was a compounding of exposure to different things.
As the fire raged on, one of the areas of concern, according to the report in February, was Ronald Reagan Senior High School, only 2.5 miles from the site. The report shows air quality levels on February 18th and the 21st registered unhealthy levels for sensitive groups, while closer to the facility saw testing ranging from hazardous to very unhealthy.
People were reporting symptoms that were consistent with that exposure, like skin irritation, eye irritation, throat irritation. Some people were hospitalized.
What action would you recommend for the county to take following the fire at the facility here in Doral?
I think there's a very urgent need for transparency from the county around what their waste management plans are. We know that there was a lot of community opposition even before this fire to the operation of this incinerator facility in a community.
And looking back, county officials did issue warnings in that first week about the smoky conditions and for residents in the area to take precaution. We did reach out to the Miami-Dade County Mayor's Office and the District Commissioner for the county about the report to see their thoughts. They requested more time to review the findings before issuing a comment. We will get back to them early next week to get their thoughts. Also, for more information on this report, visit us online where we have the link click so you can read all the findings yourself. Reporting in Doral, Joe Gorcho, CBS News, Miami.
For more than a century, the Jewish Community Services Organization has been helping South Florida's most vulnerable residents. Now it's being recognized for that effort. And as CBS News Miami's Gabriela Arzola reports, one Holocaust survivor says the organization has helped him turn pain into purpose.
In a sea of people celebrating another year of Jewish community services, one unassuming guy stands out from the crowd. Laszlo Selly is 85 years old. He's lived in Aventura for more than a decade, but he was born in Budapest. He was 6 when the Holocaust started.
I was one of the hidden children, you know, practically hidden in plain sight.
Talking to him, his memory is clear as day as he recalls living and hiding from Nazis as they killed and beat people on a daily basis.
Day in and day out, that is the worst recollection that I have, the fear, the never-ending fear.
He and his family were living and hiding for years, eventually moving to the United States at 17. Not knowing a word of English, he knew words were a struggle, but the pictures he'd take spoke for themselves. He made a career of being a photographer, but now that he's slowed down, Jewish Community Services has a specialized program where they help every Holocaust survivor.
And we care for 540 seniors, average age 92, that have survived the greatest trauma that there could ever be.
Things like gift cards, cleaning services, and just someone to talk to.
But I cannot forget the past. And it's difficult. Sometimes it gets difficult.
Laszlo says the horrors of what happened all those years ago still haunt him, which is why this program means the world to him.
JCS is quite frankly a lifesaver.
I'm Gabriela Arzola, CBS News, Miami.
Well, the hurricane season has officially begun. We'll take you inside the National Hurricane Center and what they're doing to keep you safe in the face of possible disaster. Coming up.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back to our show, and thanks so much for watching. The 2023 Atlantic hurricane season is officially underway, and that means the experts at the National Hurricane Center are on alert for anything that may develop in the tropics. CBS News Miami's Nicole Lauren is at the Hurricane Center in West Miami-Dade with an inside look at the operations there and a message from its director.
Well, I'm here at the National Hurricane Center speaking with officials about how they're getting ready for the 2023 hurricane season and, more importantly, what they're doing to keep you safe. I spoke with Dr. Michael Brennan, who's the director of the National Hurricane Center, and he says despite this hurricane season having a normal projection or normal outlook, we still have to remain vigilant.
We're expecting 12 to 17 named storms, 5 to 9 hurricanes, 1 to 4 major hurricanes. So that could be a very impactful year. I don't want people to get complacent, though. They hear near normal. They hear that maybe there's El Nino coming on in the Pacific. They think, oh, I don't have to get ready. But you can't use the seasonal forecast as a preparation tool.
And take a look at this. This is the Hurricane Specialist Unit operations floor where they look at satellite images and weather models to investigate systems that have a chance to become a tropical cyclone. And right now they're tracking a disturbance in the Gulf. Dr. Brennan says having a plan in place is critical, especially since we know how frequently that hurricane track can shift.
But make sure you know where you're going to evacuate to, how you're going to get there. what you're going to take with you, have that hurricane supply kit in place, food, water, batteries, cash, gasoline, medicine, whatever you're going to need to potentially survive several days, even a week, without power or without any help to be self-sufficient.
So Dr. Brennan says some changes that we can expect to see for this upcoming hurricane season included changing that tropical outlook from 5 to 7 days and also not focusing on that cone of uncertainty as often and that track, but rather focusing on the potential risks that these storms can pose, especially when it comes to storm surge. In Southwest Miami-Dade, Nicole Lauren, CBS News, Miami.
And keeping on the hurricane front, when it comes to storm preparation is a must, and Food for the Poor is ready to help out in the Caribbean, South and Central America, and here in the United States when it's needed the most. CBS News Miami's Naja Sherman has more on their efforts.
The kits will have enough supplies to support 250 families in each country. Each kit includes tarps, disaster blankets, hygiene items, water purification kits, and several other items to help people survive a devastating storm.
It's very important that we pre-position these kits because, as we've seen last year during Hurricane Fiona, the Dominican Republic, our partner, the Order of Malta, was able to respond quickly right after the disaster and distribute 500 of these disaster preparedness kits.
The kits were also created with women and children in mind.
We know that women and children are always the most vulnerable in times of disasters. Moms also want their children to be able to have something to do instead of tugging at mom in a shelter or mom, what I do. So we also include children's activity kits to help with that psychosocial and emotional support.
The charity is also preparing to respond to disasters in the United States if needed. After Hurricane Ian made landfall near Fort Myers as a Category 4 hurricane, the charity sent a tractor-trailer load of supplies. While we all hope for an uneventful hurricane season, even one major hurricane can have a devastating impact on an impoverished community. And it feels good to know in the worst-case scenario, help is on the way.
Naja Sherman, CBS News, Miami.
June marks National Pride Month nationwide, and Wynwood is going for more this year. Instead of one weekend of celebration, it's stretching out for 4 full weeks. And as CBS News Miami's Jacqueline Quinn reports, there is a reason why.
Every year the festival kind of changes and adjusts to kind of the needs of what we think the community needs are.
This year, Wynwood Pride organizers felt their celebration should help send a message.
This year, because of all of this crazy laws and things that are happening in Florida, we thought, what's the best way to give people the most opportunities to celebrate Pride this year? So we decided to just do a whole month-long series of events and activate several venues, not throughout just Wynwood, but kind of all throughout Miami.
Recent legislation in the state has made businesses subject to fines and penalties should they admit or expose a child to what the state considers adult performances, which includes drag performances.
We kind of, from the jump, established ourselves as kind of a more music festival style, which I guess this year, unfortunately to say, it kind of saved us because there have been other prides in Florida that have parades and they've had to cancel because of these laws.
So here at Arlo Wynwood Hotel is one of the places where they're going to have an event. This is going to be the kickoff, really. So they'll have drag shows, vendors, as well as food.
Not the traditional Pride setup, but it has been growing ever since this started 5 years ago.
Most of our businesses have been working with Pride for 5 years. Every business here is ready for Pride on this month-long process.
It's estimated 50,000 visitors have come out to Wynwood Pride events in the years past.
Listen, we're seeing travel advisories pop up left and right, and I think here in Miami-Dade County we have an incredibly unique and diverse community and culture that highlights and supports those differences, and that's what's unique about Miami-Dade County as opposed to different parts of the state of Florida.
And the theme this year is Year 5, More Pride.
This year, be more prideful than ever.
In Wynwood, I'm Jacqueline Quinn, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, we take you to one South Florida girl's story of success and what she's doing to inspire others to follow in her footsteps for years to come.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back to our show, and thank you for watching. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. Prom season has just wrapped up, and not even the rain could put a damper on this Hawaiian-themed dance party for students with autism spectrum disorder. Hundreds of Miami-Dade public school students gathered for the rite of passage, complete with food, music, and of course, a king and queen. CBS News Miami's Lauren Pastrana has more.
Mishia and Joe Stevens are now Miami-Dade royalty, sharing their first dance as the king and queen of the 2023 prom for students with autism spectrum disorder. They were joined by 400 fellow students from 20 different schools. The incredible inclusive event is now in its 10th year.
This is a culminating event for our students. This is their high school career, and today they will be able to celebrate with their friends from their school and other schools as well.
Superintendent Jose Dotres was there to congratulate the class of 2023.
It's really an honor for me to be here today and watch all of you 12th graders, high school students get to celebrate a prom.
And after working so hard in school all year long, these students were ready to hit the dance floor and have a great time.
I feel amazing. It's pretty great. Having a good time with friends and teachers around.
I'm dancing a lot with Johnny.
The main event, the dance. I love the dance. Born to boogie, always bound to boogie!
Lauren Pastrana, CBS News, Miami.
Having a good time there. Love to see it. Finally, we want to introduce you to a first-generation high school graduate who isn't just making Miami proud, but also her family and all those who know her. Now, Yaslin Fuentes is giving back, knowing firsthand what other students like her are going through. CBS News Miami's Maribel Rodriguez has her story.
Meet 18-year-old senior Yaslin Fuentes. B-U-C-W-I-L-T. She is a cheerleader, a member of the National Math Honor Society, vice president of the National Spanish and Science Honor Society, a best buddy, a Silver Knight nominee. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, she is the valedictorian of her senior class.
Yaslin is a go-getter. She sets her mind to something, and she will not stop until she gets it.
She is the epitome of living the American dream.
My parents came from nothing, in a sense. You know, they came for a purpose to give me and my sister and my brother everything. And a good education.
Yaslin's parents, both undocumented immigrants, crossed the border from Guatemala to the U.S. to give their 3 children a better life. A reality this South Dade senior high school student uses as a motivation and inspiration.
It's one thing that I really do live by is in the first grade, my dad had got deported. So that for me was an eye-opener at such a young age. And I knew that in order for my parents to know that their sacrifice was all worth it was so that I can at least fulfill and become someone in life, and that's all they really do dream of.
She has just taken advantage of everything, of all the opportunities that this school has to offer and that the district has to offer as well. And she's not only taken those opportunities, she's excelled in those opportunities.
All of her accomplishments have come with hard work, but also with the help of Miami-Dade Public Schools' Title I Migrant Education Program, where they provide migrant students and their families with the additional help they need. And now Yaslin is giving back, knowing firsthand what other students like her are going through.
And I did a toy drive where I gave kids from the Title I Migrant Education Program toys, because most of them do come from all of them do come from Hispanic background where they aren't financially stable. And I was once those kids where I never did receive a Christmas present when I was a little girl, because my parents weren't financially stable, so much that we didn't even have a Christmas tree. So it did, as a girl, as a little girl, it really did hurt me emotionally.
Now, Yaslin, a confident and accomplished young woman, is ready for her future and proud to have her parents by her side.
I'm very fortunate to be in the position that I am and being a U.S. citizen, but my parents are my motivation throughout everything.
Yaslin received the Presidential Scholarship Award and will be attending the University of Miami in the fall, majoring in biology on the pre-med track. She wants to become a pediatric surgeon. What an inspiration. We, of course, wish her the best of luck. Congratulations to this outstanding senior. Maribel Rodriguez, CBS News, Miami.
She is quite a young woman, and thank you for joining us this half hour in Headliners, and as always, keep it right here to CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great day.